Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. I'm going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days in today's video. Then we'll have a look at CFS V2 for the coming month as well. So, we did the update yesterday, of course, and said we've got a lot of unsettled weather coming up. That still remains true. So, for the rest of this week, into weekend, into next week, Westerlies are going to be dominated. There's still no real sign, in the shorter range ones anyway, of when we break out of that. We'll have a look at CFS V2 and see whether that is expecting us to break out anytime soon. But before we get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all of the pages. If you have a browser widgets and click through the links, you'll be able to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. This video ads on most pages, which open up content. When you watch it, close back up again. It does help to pay for gasweathers.com. And very excitingly, on Sunday, we're doing the NAO forecast, the North Atlantic Oscillation forecast for the winter of 2016-2017. I've delayed it for a month. Previous years, I've done it in June. Going to do it on the first Sunday of July this year. So, very exciting times with that one. Right, thought to start off with the Central England temperature. Now we're nearing the end of June. We can start thinking about where we're going to come in terms of the CT this month. So we come out at 15.6 so far provisionally. That's 1.5 degrees above average. I say that is provisional up to yesterday, the 27th of June. Nearly end of the month, of course. So it's been a warm month, and it hasn't really felt that warm, I don't think, but a lot of it's been down to warm, cloudy nights, and then relatively coolish sort of days. Hasn't been any real heat waves, I don't think, this month. But interesting month anyway, in that much of this is going to be down to the minima. Nevertheless, I think it is going to be significantly warmer than average month, which we did predict in the June month head forecast. It hasn't quite gone to plan because we were expecting it to be more sort of a hottish month with heat waves. It hasn't been that kind of a month. So although we are going to come out above average, I'm not all that happy with the June month head forecast. But we'll talk about that, of course, next week when we do the July forecast. Right, GFS temperature precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. The red line here is a 30-year temperature average. So we're above, we're below, I should say, average now. We're going to stay below average into start of July. This is 1st of July just here. And then no real sign of going above average even well into July. I mean, we go towards the middle of July just here, this part of the graph, and there's still no real sign of the warm-up taking place in then. Of course, that's a very long way off, and just because it's not showing it at the moment, we could well get a heat wave by the middle of July, just never know. But at this point, there is no sign, really, of anything particularly warmer than average coming up over the next couple of weeks. Of course, when the sun comes out, it's still going to feel warm, so we're in high summer now. So when the sun comes out, it will feel warmer than you will think by looking at these ensembles. It will be warmer than you will think by looking at these ensembles. In London, for instance, this is the ensemble for London, and in these areas just here, where we're below the red line, when the sun comes out, the temperatures are still going to go up to 21, 22 degrees in the centre of London, just because of the strength of the sun and heat island effect. But in terms of the upper air temperature anyway, we are looking at quite a cool period. And when it's overcast, it'll be cool. When it's raining, it'll be cool as well. And talking of rain, there is quite a lot of precipitation spikes coming through. So here we go through the first bit of the graph. Again, there is precipitation there. And then into the second part of the graph, that precipitation also. You wouldn't necessarily say that's a hugely wet, you know. They aren't big rainfall spikes, but they're coming through fairly frequently. So it does imply frequent bands of rain or showers, just with an unsettled mix. But as I said, that is the ensemble for London. If you have a look at the ensemble for Manchester to the northwest, you can see that obviously the rainfall is heavier there. The spikes are bigger. So as well as being frequent rain coming through, it's also heavier rain as well. This is exactly what you'd expect in a summer zonal pattern, with the north and west getting the wettest conditions, the south and east getting the driest conditions, but not totally dry. Rain bands coming through at fairly regular intervals even there, just but they're heaviest in the north and the west. So the temperature anomaly with this is coming out cooler than average. This takes us from the 28th of June through the 6th of July, easily cooler than average there. And the precipitation anomaly is generally coming out wetter than average. Notice the far southeast nearer normal, as is parts of Scotland, interestingly, but most parts of the country come out wetter than average. Here's the generic charts, and this is the GFS for Saturday, and low pressure is moving in from the west, and another low pressure is moving in on Sunday. So it is going to be an unsettled weekend. There will be rain coming through over the weekend. A little bit of a ridge building across the south on Monday, still keeping low pressure to the north and west. And then a cold front probably is coming southwards on Tuesday, bringing a showery band of rain. Again, a slight bump of pressure there on the 6th, next Wednesday, but that's very quickly flattened off as the low pressure just rolls in over the top on Thursday the 7th. And we end up on day 10, which is Friday the 8th, with low pressure slap bang over top of the country. So, yeah, there will be a day or two, perhaps next week, of drier, warmer conditions in the sunshine. But it looks like the next area of low pressure is not going to be all that far away. There's no sign of a fundamental sort of breakout of this pattern. The ECM, very similar. Here come the westerly winds on Saturday, but probably going to be a lot of showers with that. Then another area of low pressure, this one just here, looks like it could move in and give some parts of the country a very wet day on Sunday. We go into Monday, maybe building a little bit of pressure to the south, turning a bit drier there, still settling in the north. And then it all looks very flabby. To go through to the middle part of next week, this is Wednesday the 6th of July, with an area of low pressure centred over top of the country that could bring heavy rain into the east. Long way off with that one. And then beyond that, in towards the 10th day, so this is day 10, Friday the 8th of July, it still remains unsettled with low pressure very close to the north and west. So it's a really unsettled outlook over the coming week to 10 days for sure. Is there any sign of the longer range models wanting to break us out of this? Let's have a look at CFS V2 before I go. This is a 500 millibar height anomaly for the coming week. This is the 28th of June through to the 4th of July. It looks very unsettled. There's a trough of low pressure almost centred over the country. It is a little bit to the north, but generally it's in there. A ridge out to the west, and the jet stream doing something like that looks very cool and unsettled. We go through to week 2, which is the 5th through to the 11th of July. Still looks unsettled. Trough low pressure is centred over Scandinavia. Then a ridge is closer, but it's only to the southwest. Not really much help, and I think it's probably going to be the jet stream and low pressure filling the gap in that sort of position there. So that still looks unsettled to me through the 5th to the 11th. And then we go through to week 3, which is the 12th through to the 18th of July. Time's ticking on now. We're getting through into the middle part of summer. And the ridge still remains out to the west of us. Still hints of low pressure, I think, coming through here. So, again, doesn't look good. The jet stream's probably doing something a bit like that. And then we go through to week 4. Finally, signs of a change. It's the 19th, 25th of July. Looks like we get above average heights starting to build in. And the jet stream, crucially, is beginning to go northwards as the low pressure becomes centred around Greenland and Iceland. But jet stream is doing something like that. So it does turn drier and warmer there in the final week, week 4. That's a very long way off. And I think the general trend is certainly to keep it unsettled into the first week of July. Probably going on beyond that, actually, into the second week of July. We're getting on with the summer now, of course. It's not anything to be alarmed about. We could get some hot and dry weather as we get through into the second half of the summer, of course, but certainly going up towards the middle of July, I think we could say there's not really much evidence of anything settling down for any prolonged period, and time by then, by middle of July, will be starting to tick on. Right, we'll be doing 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. And also, we've got the Beijing Climate Centre for the next 40 days, so come back for that tomorrow. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.